Hello guys and welcome to a new video on my channel. This time I try a little tutorial how to prepare and operate a Berlin subway train. In this video it's in the type F train, and first I'd like to give you a brief overview about all the buttons, handles and controls in our cab. So we are now in the marshalling or shunting area or turnaround track, call it as you like, at the end point of line number 9, U9. It's called Rathaus Steglitz, and we have a 6 cars unit of our train, and first we will enter the cab. You see the red light, the single red light in the front. That means this train is parked. Okay, now we get into the cab, and first we take care for a little light so that you can see what we are doing here. Okay, so first it's no kind of excuse, just a little explanation. My English is just from school. It's almost 40 years ago, but I try to do my very best so that it works out for you guys, and maybe you can get some information about these trains, that you have fun to operate them within this excellent simulation. Okay, first we go to our panel behind our seat, and we have on this side we have our switches for our signals for head and tail light. So you see we have a single red light in the front of the train. That means this train is parked, and we have 3 positions. The middle position, it's kind of automatic. So in the real train, it works automatically. So when you activate the cab, the lights on the front are white and the lights on the back are red. Yeah, according to my experiences, this is not working in the simulation, but it's not a problem. So when this car or the cab you are currently on and you activate it is on the front of the train, you had to put the lights upwards so that they are white. We put them back on because preparing the train for operation comes later. Okay, then we have another switch for activating our current collectors. The Berlin subway trains get their energy from a power rail on the side of the trains. I look if I can get a little more details. Okay, in this area there are the current collectors, and when you activate the current collectors, they snap on the downside of the power rail and collect the current they need for the engines. Okay, then we have another switch that's also important, but I don't know if it affects the simulation. So when the simulation was new for me, I did not operate these buttons, but this train still works. So this button would be our control current for all the various systems on the train. These are some lights. That means and indicates that we have 750 volt current on our power rail, so this is fine. And this light will be on when our current collectors are on the power rail. Okay, we make a little test. We disengage our current collectors and the light is still on. So you can operate it, but it did not affect the simulation. Okay, this is a checking button for all the lights. We can operate it, but it did not work. You can operate a lot of buttons and levers, but they are not important for the simulation right now. So, but this train is very, very, very detailed. There's a lot of love in the simulation. We have a lot of fuses you can see here. But some will not work, but also it's very, very detailed and very, very realistic. Okay, let's see to the other levers. This lever is for our first, let me do this back into neutral position. So we need it later for the explanation about the startup sequence for our train. Okay, this lever is for passenger information for our announcement system in the car, just will be snapped upwards. Also, we have our radio. You can see it will be activated here, and we are going to be locked on to our control center. Here we go. Okay, but first let us disengage it. Okay. The next lever is our lights in the passenger area. Okay, there are lights in the train, but you can also operate this switch. So this is the light for the passenger room. It's on and it's off. Okay, that's here is the switch for the light in the cab. Of course, we leave this on. Okay, these are for you the most important switches and buttons to operate for the train. You can move around the train with the keys. I am sorry, I'm only referring to the German key layout, but I try to explain what's the German key, and maybe you can find out what it's on your key configuration. So it may be English, it may be French, it may be Hungarian. So I cannot refer to every single keyboard layout. So you can move around the cab when you use the keys, which are the both keys left of your backspace button on your keyboard. So you can move around fore and back, and you can also go into the passenger room, and there you have various camera angles, not angels. Okay, I need the standard view. That must be this one. Okay, in the train you can of course operate all the doors. You are here, you can go with this door, you can go from car to car when you are not on the platform, and you have no stairs. And okay, let's close it again. Of course, you have the regular cab car on door on one side. That's the usual side where the platform is. So if you have to get out of the cab and out of the car, you have the platform on the other side, so on the right side, just go out of this door. This cannot be operated, and then you can leave the cab. Okay, let's look at the cab door. There is a real important sheet, because these are the code numbers for the passenger information system. You see here you have the various lines which are included in this simulation. So you have all the codes for the lines U5, U6, U7, U8 and U9. U6 is not currently included in the simulation, only a few stations. I think U9 will be the next, which will be finished. And now we are on line number 9. And on the first line you have some abbreviations for the potential train destinations. Now it's getting a little bit maybe hard to understand. So RZU is the abbreviation for Rathaus-Steglitz. That's the southern endpoint of the line. Then there is WSG, that's Walter-Schreiber-Platz, that is the third station from here. Then there is Zoologischer Garten unten, the Zoo station, Berlin Zoo, maybe you heard of it. And then there is LPU, that's Leopoldplatz. On the other side you have OLO, that's Osloer Straße, that's the northern end point of the line. And then you have again Leopoldplatz, Zoologischer Garten, and Walter Schreiber Platz. So we are now at Rathaus Steglitz, that's RZU. And when you want to go, for example, to Zoologischer Garten, then you just look the comparing number, it's 960 from 2. And our code will be 960. It's very important that when you spawn and place some trains in the editor, that the car numbers are in the correct position. So it's about even and uneven. And so when it's not correct, the train will not can be set up, and you can only get a route with signaling when the route is correct entered. Okay, here you have some, where is it? Here you have some special destinations, that's neutral white. Then you have operational, so without passengers, that's 002. A special route and some other signs which are not important, because when you have this, you have no route. Okay, then we go back to our controls. Okay, this is our working place as a driver at the Berlin Underground. First, when you start up the trains, one of the first tasks to do is to engage the, in German it's Automat. It's some kind of main switch, But you will need it for operating the train. If you don't activate this button, this train will not ride. If you engage the cab, this light will be red. The other button is the converter for transforming the energy to another format. Then the next one, you see the button with the F, that's the so-called Fahrsperre. This is a kind of train control system that prevents you for driving over a red signal, and also sometimes controlling the speed you are currently on. Okay. Then, which other one is also important? This is a kind of parking brake. It's called in German Federspeicherbremse. It's a kind of spring-loaded braking system. This is for parked trains, not the same like stopped trains. These three buttons, green, white, green, is for your door control. So when this light in the middle, the white one, Tür zu, means the doors are closed and the train can continue the ride. The left button is releasing the doors on the left side, and the right side is the button for releasing the doors on the right side. The door buttons you can control via keyboard. Release on the left side is A, right side is D, close is S. The parking brake, Federspeicherbremse, you can release with R. Okay, this is some kind for our passenger information and announcement system. I will refer later on. Okay, then we come to this guy. This is our, I don't know, there's a special word, it's our accelerator button. I call it the accelerator button. It's also spring-loaded and has only two settings. The one setting is pressed. This means the train accelerates, and when you release it, this is also spring-loaded, the train will not accelerate but continue rolling. Above there's the speed, And this other guy is our brake, our air brake pressure. We have a dynamic brake and we have an air brake. Also, I will tell you about it later. This slide where you can see E4. This E4 is a level of our dynamic brake. It's when you are in a station and you are stopping, then you can prevent the train from rolling by adding some air pressure, some air brake. And when you engage that air brake, this light Bremse, brake, will light up. The other lever here is that's a kind of selector. So with this one you engage the cap and select the direction. You also have a forward levels, which are from 15, 25, 50, 60 and 70. The maximum of this train is 70 kph, and when it's faster at 72 kph, then you hear a bell ringing, and there is a device in the train which will carry out a brake, and the train will slow down below the 70 kph. You also have for emergency operations, you can drive the train backwards with maximum 25 kph, so we have to pull this lever back. This is our selector. In German it's the Fahrschalter, and the accelerator button is der Fahrschalterknopf, the accelerator button. Okay, then here we have our, on the right side, our braking lever. In Germany it's a Bremsschalter. So this is our brake only lever. Also you have here some settings, the neutral position. This is also known as the driving position. So when you want to accelerate the train, this must be in this position. You can reach it with numpad 9. That's the neutral position, the driving position. You can operate between these the different settings with 3 and 2, I think. Or was it 6 and 2? We'll find out later, no problem. Because I'm driving with a do-it-yourself USB cap, so I don't have to push any buttons. Okay, then you have 4 braking levels, E1, 2, 3 and 4. So you can engage the brakes stepwise. And when you are on the last level of our dynamic brake, you can press this button. That's the space bar. Then you will see this will light off and the train is stopped and you can release the doors. And when you reach the E4 setting, the last dynamic brake level, you can this light will go on. You also have for emergency operations, you have an air brake. But this is not for normal train operations. That's for pros. Okay, this is about, you can see here is a little lock. Usually the train driver has to put in a key to make it possible to activate the cap, but this is not in the simulation. To the selector, this will be operated and engaged with numpad 8. And then with the mouse you can control the various settings. The accelerator button will be operated with a space bar. Okay, then we have our passenger information system. This is very important because when you don't have a correct destination, you won't get a route from the signal box. And sometimes the device for adjusting the digits is here, and sometimes, like in our example, it is on the roof of the cab and the ceiling. Okay, we want to go to the zoo station, and we have we will take a look at our numbers here from RZU. We are now Rathaussteglitz to Zoo Station. That's 960. So you can just adjust the digits with your mouse. 3, 5, 6. Okay. Then we will put our train into operation. Okay, this was an overview over all the controls we have in the cab. And now we will prepare our train for operation for the route from Rathaussteglitz to Zoologischer Garten. Okay, preparing the train. First we have to go outside again the train, because we have to put the taillights on red. So we go to the last car and engage the 2 red lights with this levers, down, down, so they are red. Have a look. Perfect. Okay. Then we go back to the first car, and now we are starting up and make ready for operation. First, I turn again on the light in the cab. Okay. First we set our front light, put these levers up, so we have 2 lights in the front, but we will not see them before we engage our cab. And we do it now. First, okay, you can operate these trains, put the current collectors into operation position and our control current. You can, but you don't have to. More important is, you press numpad 8. Now you have engaged the cab and the train is ready for operation in forward direction. Now the first setting is 15. There are many variants of the F-type trains. This is an F47, one of the oldest. It's called a Schaltwerk. I don't know the English word for Schaltwerk. Maybe it's derailleur. So when you are in this position, so that's very slow, 15 kph, this is not good for shunting. The shunting limit is 25 kph. So 15 is only when you're sneaking at red signals, of course, when you get the permission. But for shunting it's 25, so we put it to the next step. Okay. Then we activate the automat, some kind of main switch with the mouse, put it in the forward position. You see these lights will go off, and the converter, then there you have no control light. With F1 you activate the train control system, very, very important. And we have the parking brake engaged, and you can release it by pressing R. You heard it. And now the train is air braked. You see the red light, this means air brake. Okay. Then we take care of the brakes later. First we have to set up our train destination. We have here our digits. You only need the first 3. In this case for Zoo Station it's 960. Okay, now we go outside. We have our front light, 2 white lights. And for confirmation of the destination, just press C. C for confirm. Nothing happens. Okay, we will take care of the brakes. Our train is now air braked. You see the red needle is down here. And to release the brakes, you have to put back the braking lever 2 notches. Okay, now hear this. And the red light is off. So now you have to put back the braking lever into the driving position with numpad 9. And you can switch the braking lever with numpad 3 and 4. but you cannot go from E1 back to 9, so you have to press numpad 9 to go into the driving position. When you are at E4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you see the red light. And when you are on the station, to prevent the train from rolling, just press space. You see here's a little air pressure on the brakes. This will prevent the train from rolling. Okay, when you are in the station, you can now release the doors. Just press E for release on the left and D for release on the right. So nothing will happen because we are in the shunting area and we have no passengers. Okay. And when you want to close the doors again, go back to your cab and press the S. And when this white light is on, the doors are closed and you can continue on your route. But before continuing, you have to put the brake lever. You hear the ticking. That's some kind of relay for the red lights in the doors. Maybe you can see it here on the train. And when exceeding a special speed limit, I think it's as some kph, they will stop flashing. It's only warning for the passengers. Okay. But first we need a route. But we are in the shunting area, so we can drive some meters. First we have to put our braking lever in the driving position with numpad 9. You can see the brake is releasing. In the driving position, the air brake is releasing very slow. So when the train is... okay, we can try it. We have some time. We go into our air brake position. That's not for normal operations. You see the red needle and the pressure is increasing. You can go to the driving position. It releases slow, and when you go one step down, the air brake will release faster. But this is only in case of failure of the dynamic brake. And on the end you have the emergency brake. Okay. Then we will release our air brake and we can move some meters forward. Okay, we're good to go and press the accelerator button with space. Limit shunting is 25 kph. So this red light means at the end of our shunting thread we have not a green signal. Okay, that's the release position for the air brakes, and then you have 1, E2, E3 and E4. White light, press the space bar. Okay, and when you're on the station now you can release the doors. Okay, let's take care of our destination. Why is it not working? Okay guys, we are now 3 stations ahead at Walter-Schreiber-Platz and took another train. Maybe it's working. So we are back in our cab. We have prepared the train as described. We also activated the passenger information systems, loudspeakers, the radio, and now we are ready to enter our digit code for the destination. It's, and this time is it 980. Okay, we go outside and check and press C for confirm. Okay, that's the way it should be. I don't know where the failure was. Maybe it's yeah, it's sometimes it's weird. Okay, now we have our correct destination. So we're going to the station. We started our little tutorial to Rathaus Steglitz. and we have a look if we already have a signal. This means we have a route. Oh, looks good. Then we set our selector to 25 kph. We releasing the brakes. Okay, the brake light is off, and put the brake lever into the driving position and press the accelerator. You see the two orange light, that means it's the clearance for shunting. Limit 25 kph, we're going to trick number 1. So when you prepare to brake, you can put the braking lever 1 notch. That's only the air brake release position. And then you can decrease the speed with E1. E2. E3, E4, press the spacebar. First you have, I forgot, you have to engage the passenger information system with, in German keyboard, it's the Y. Okay, then you can release the doors on the left side with A.
Zug nach Rathaus Steglitz. Einsteigen bitte.
That's simply the announcement for train 2, and please board. So you can see the indicator with the train destinations all working fine. And okay, you have some mirrors is for the train driver. You can see it's actually working. If you are if there are any passengers near the train, it's not. So we can close our doors with pressing S.
Zurückbleiben bitte.
The announcement with please stand clear of the doors is in German is zurückbleiben. Just press X on German keyboard. Okay, now we are good to go. So we have to put the selector to maximum speed, 70 kph. And our braking lever into the driving position with numpad 9, and waiting for the red light to go off, and then you can push the press the accelerator button. Release, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, space. Okay, then you can release the doors on the right side. You see, here are some passengers.
Einsteigen bitte.
Okay. Prepare for departure, brake lever to neutral, and press X and S.
Bitte.
White light at the doors, and you're good to go. Okay, this time I try to exceed the speed limit of 70 kph to make the limiter working. You hear the bell ring and the train will brake automatically.
Rathaus Steglitz. Übergang zur S-Bahn. Dieser Zug endet hier. This train terminates here.
And the brakes are releasing automatically. Okay. Air brake release. E1, 2, 3. Two, 3, and 4, and press space for air brake and release the doors on the left side.
Dieser Zug endet hier. Bitte alle aussteigen. This train terminates here. All change, please.
So I think everybody's has enlightened our train, so we are good to go into the shunting area to our turnaway track. So we press X for warning the passengers. And okay, this is no announcement because we're on the end of the line, and just now press S. So so you can put the speed on the selector back to 25, or just release the accelerator button. Okay, we have now a signal. To orange lights or yellow lights means we are allowed to move the train for shunting to track number 6 in our shunting area. The brake lever to the driving position, air brakes releases, and you're good to go. So you can also shunting without the selector, putting to 25 kph. Just release the accelerator button. Also, when you are en route and there is a speed limit, yellow signs with numbers, maybe 45, maybe 60, just release the accelerator button. Okay, here you have markings, 4 cars, and we need to stop at 6 cars. 3, 4, space. Okay. So we are here back in the shunting area from Rathaus-Steglitz station. And that's the end of our little tutorial, or my little try of a tutorial. Sometimes it's a little bit bumpy because of my not so fluent English knowledge, but I hope it works out for you guys. So please leave me a comment when I shall do another tutorial for the H train. There's another train, it's called D-type. D-train is similar to the F-trains. The D-types are a little bit older, so you have less buttons to press. So when you understand the F-train, you will also be able to operate the D-train. Okay, guys, that's all from now, and I hope you enjoy this video. Maybe it helps you a little bit, and I would be pleased to see you in the next video. So till then, stay safe and see you. Bye bye.